go willy-nilly go run and just spend your money or send your money to Jamaica. Not in this economy, the way things are, and tough for a lot of people. I see a lot of people losing, not able to finish their homes because people done misuse their money. Buy a house in America. You have the money for the house in America, but you want a house in Jamaica. Excuse me. Buy the house first in Jamaica before you buy the house in America. I will tell anybody that. Some people don't know this. For the simple fact, you do not want that big debt of America House. Remember, America House is going to run you around $250,000 to begin with, and if you have that debt on your name already, and you pull a credit history, they're going to know this, and then they're going to probably deny you and not give you what you need. But America is not going to use the same debt you have in Jamaica in America, because America runs differently. Okay. And that's also with cars now in Jamaica. You can do the same thing. Anyways, back everybody. If you're new here, welcome. And if you've been here before, welcome back. My name is Julie. And today, I can honestly say to some people that this is for all the people that want to build in Jamaica and afraid, or to buy a house in Jamaica and afraid. Don't let the fear of other people experience deter you from building or buying your house. I said it before, and the reason why I'm on this subject is because I've spoken to a lot of people, and like, even in my comment sections, I've seen it. People reach out to me personally asking me, how did I go about it? And the truth about it, from I was a kid, I always wanted a house on the hill. So when I saw the opportunity to purchase a house on the hill, I went ahead and did it. Actually purchased an apartment. But my thing is, if I was to follow all the people that tell me not to build or buy a house in Jamaica, I wouldn't have one. But I will tell you this: if you do have the desire to have something in your own country, any country you're from, go ahead and do it. Especially if it's Jamaica. It's going to pay off in the long run. You're going to benefit from it. If it's not physically, mentally, it's going to give you a peace of mind. Building my house in Jamaica gave me a peace of mind, a sense of pride. Owning something in Jamaica from day one gave me a sense of pride, made me feel whole, made me feel at peace, knowing that this place go to crapahola, I'm okay where I'm from. If I was to get deported, it's okay if I got deported and went home, because I had somewhere to sleep. That was always in the back of my mind, because I've seen other people's problems, and why I decided to always own something in Jamaica was because of that. I will never tell someone not to own a house in Jamaica, because of the simple fact that I know the comfort it brought me. Owning my own home in Jamaica brought me comfort. Owning a place in Jamaica, period, no matter, even if I was paying mortgage, it brought me comfort. When I bought the first place I've lived in, it was cash. So it wasn't like I was owning a mortgage, to be honest. And that gave me the best experience in the world for a little young girl that left Jamaica from Wapikila Phillip, and to have something back on my yard when I go, I have to stay at hotel, because I remember staying in Airbnbs, mainly hotels before that. Was short-term rental. It wasn't really Airbnb, it was short-term rental for me. And I rent a place for like a month or two, and then I found myself not wanting to leave. So I had to fork out another extra $1,000 or here and there, $1,200. And it was affordable to me, because you're paying that in the United States just for rent alone, if you was, So for me, it was okay, to be honest, because the fact that I had my own place when I got there. I didn't have to stay at a hotel. It's nothing wrong if that's what you got going on. But what I'm saying is, if you desire to have somewhere in Jamaica, do it. All right. Now, to the people that will ask me how we go about it, if you already bought your land, building a house is even easier. Buy your material, leave it there. Even if you don't have the money to start building, but you have money to start buying material, I would recommend anyone that's going to build, start buying your material, especially if it's somewhere where you could like buy sand, blocks, stuff like that. The steel, you could wait till last, because sometimes they do pull away your steel, depends if you're not from the neighborhood. But if you're in a prominent neighborhood, or where you're building, or it's a scheme or something, you'll be okay dropping all your materials. I'll tell anyone this: Jamaica is not what it used to be 10, 15 years ago, where you could trust these people with your money. If you can be on the ground day by day, even if it's a contractor, you're using laborers or contractors, or you're using tradesmen, as they call it, tradesmen and laborers alone without a contractor. I will suggest to anyone, make sure your foot is on the ground. Whenever you're spending a large sum of money, make sure you're there to allocate it and know what you're spending it for. If you have someone you can trust, meaning maybe your baby mom, your husband, or your wife, whatever, that's different. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about if you have to rely on total strangers to do these things for you, then I would suggest don't go willy-nilly go run and just spend your money or send your money to Jamaica. Not in this economy, the way things are, and tough for a lot of people. I see a lot of people losing, not able to finish their homes because people done misuse their money. It's not everyone, because I've seen up to mothers misuse their money, people money. You know, for instance, I have one friend years ago, that's way years ago, when I was like in my 20s, and this person like goodly 30, 40, and he trusted his mother with his money to build his house. But this is what the mother did. The mother gave the sister, the brother, everybody the youth money for spend. Bigger man for me, but it was a friend. And everybody spent his money. But do you know how he know that he didn't have a house and didn't have nothing saved? It's when he got to Jamaica, when he got deported. That's how he found out he didn't have a place to stay. So I've seen people going through personally, and it's a bunch of things I've seen throughout my years as a young girl living in America, experiencing things, seeing people, how people use people to get what they want. It's amazing that some people don't, off themselves because of it. And I'm gonna tell you this: if you do plan for build your house and you have the money for build your house and you can travel, take your backside and your yard and do what you have to do, because don't take up a large sum of money sent to no one. I wouldn't tell anyone to do that. And like I said, depends on the person. If it's your loved one, your wife, your husband, and you trust them with your cash, hey, that's different. Me, I wasn't that fortunate. I did have family member and friends, but I still had to make sure that at times I was there on the ground to make sure things was happening. My husband was my backbone to a lot of things. I was fortunate enough to not get fully destroyed by some people or taken advantage of, and it's because of my husband. I'm gonna be honest, it's just because it was my husband. And one thing God did bless us with was my brother-in-law. And I'm not gonna lie, in the beginning phase of our house, he was the rock where he actually did not use us like some people would have if they had the opportunity. So I did have one wild card that I had, was what my brother-in-law. He was good to me. He was good to my husband, his brother, and that made it somewhat, attainable in a sense for us to be able to build the way we did. Is it possible for a lot of people right now? Yes, it still is. I don't know this. If you plan to do anything, which is building a house in Jamaica, even buy it. But merely I stick to building because I know that building is easier to buy than to buy a house in Jamaica. I'm not care nobody want to say. Building is way easier. People might want to pretend like it's not. But if you do decide to build a house, it's much easier. Even if you have housing trust, everybody say housing trust this, housing trust that, but it's still a way of getting a piece of Jamaica. It's still one of the easiest way to get a piece of Jamaica without paying a lot of interest. You could use that just to buy the land, or you could buy your land and then take the loan from housing trust just to build. I'm not saying that it's the only way to go. You could go to a bank, you could borrow the money from the bank and build just the same. Believe it or not, borrowing money from a bank is also easy. It doesn't take much. All it takes for you is to go into the bank, Jamaica National, Victoria Mutual, NCB, any one of those places. But basically I could speak for Jamaica National or Victoria Mutual. Those places, to borrow money to build a house is much easier than anything else, or to buy a house. It's simple. If you're living in the United States and you are working, you're here and you're legally here and you have paperwork or you have social credit, because they will go off your credit, you could use those information to obtain the loan, especially if you do not have a lot of debt on your name. So say you want to buy a house in America. You have the money for the house in America, but you want a house in Jamaica. Excuse me. Buy the house first in Jamaica before you buy the house in America. I will tell anybody that. Some people don't know this. For the simple fact, you do not want that big debt of America House. Remember, America House is going to run you around $250,000 to begin with. And if you have that debt on your name already, and you pull a credit history, they're going to know this, and then they're going to probably deny you and not give you what you need. But America is not going to use the same debt you have in Jamaica in America, because America runs differently. Okay? And that's also with cars now in Jamaica. You can do the same thing. Anyways, why I'm giving you this heads up, because a lot of people don't know that they can actually still buy a house in Jamaica with the same credit they have here. So if you're here and you're young and you just come and you have a good credit and you can go and take a loan out and you not buy a house here yet, what you want, buy a house, because that credit is not going to use against you that you use in Jamaica. Remember, I tell you this, because it's not the same credit system. But Jamaica will use the credit, the debt you have here, to look over your thing and see what you earn or whatever. And you can buy a house. You can get your loan. I've helped people fill out the forms before, so I know it works. So it's not like it's impossible. And it's the same thing if you're buying a piece of land or you're buying a house, whichever way, or building. And you can still take a loan out here, even after, cash loan to buy a house or build a house. Some people go and take out $50,000 and still find a nice place at Jamaica for buy. So it's not, like say, it's not reachable or doable. It is. It's just having common sense. Some people just think that everything is so tough, so them don't try. Not because you hear other people talk about, Lord, this tough, this, that. Listen to me. People do things and say things just for discourage you sometimes and make you feel like, say, everything is impossible when it's not. Everything is accessible and everything is not easy. Don't get me wrong. But it's not impossible to get a house for your credit, yes, sir. It's very easier than you think, especially if you have a good job, a good paying job. You can, and even with not a good paying job, because I've seen people that don't have, and I've helped them fill out paperwork, and they got loans to build, buy in Jamaica. So it's not like, say, you have to go by what everybody else says. Lord, me no want this, me no want that. So if you find a way, I just like going heads up, for all of who will know such things kind of not too right for them, you say either you have a chance, take up yourself, your work, apply for the loan. And if you get it, good for you. And you don't have to go down there for to use it either. You can stay right here and buy your place. Especially if it's like a pretty much in a community, like, in one of those communities a lot of everybody like. I'm not for it, gated community, so I don't encourage people for gated community. But for some people love it, and that's okay. And not everybody it's for. But anyway, guys, if you come this far on my video, please consider liking, sharing, subscribing. God bless.